Yeah, when you come to my house, you need to sit low.
Yeah.
Sit
Swing
low,
low.
you know, because I also like to ride low. I'm gonna lower the suspension on my Hyundai Grand i10,
Lower
and
suspension.
you know,
And it looks low already.
hey, you know, stunts is not a crime.
It looks low. I like it. We live in an area where there's not too many speakers. So it's not that
Yeah,
big of an issue, you know?
but even if you know the speed bumps, you know how we do. You know, you drive sideways,
Ah,
and then
that's
you.
then it's the worst because you are the people that don't like that. I'm always in a hurry. I'm always having to drop kids. I'm always having
Hey,
to do this, that, and the other. My time,
Stunts,
no,
stunts is not a
no, I
crime.
cannot.
It
I
is not a
cannot.
crime,
I
and I'm
cannot.
sorry if I have to be that guy that's like swerving around and you happen to be behind me.
No,
At least you're going behind a really, really, really beautiful, nice and low car.
yeah.
You know that that just makes life like all the more worth it.
No, no, dude, no, you like math, bruh. You like math. No, 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 no. No, it's nice to look at. There's no doubt about it. It's
Yeah.
nice to look at,
Yeah.
the car that's dropped and everything. But driving behind you guys in a Gazi, with
Yeah,
speed bumps.
but Kasi,
I know.
you know,
I
Kasi
can't.
is a different
Never.
story, man. But
That's
like,
not gonna happen.
you know, it's you gotta appreciate it, Kasi.
Mm.
Like to be honest, you gotta appreciate the
No,
whole culture.
I've noticed.
It's an identity, Kasi. Like it's what sets us apart
Like,
from everybody else. You know what I mean?
no, I don't get me wrong, Gazi. So for me the thing is what I like about people that spot their cars.
Mm.
What stance? Why you call it stance? Stance is stance. You know, you put the cherry, you
Yes.
drop it. You know,
Yes.
get those low profile wheels and stuff like that. What I like about it is the amount of time and money you guys invest.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
Into that.
Mm.
I think that is something I can appreciate.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when you have a project, it's something to work towards. You understand? And that is a lot, like myself, I understand that aspect of it. That to me makes sense. Um, but the practicality in terms of driving it, in terms of day-to-day things, it's not gonna work for me.
But look at it.
Personally,
Look at
it's
it
not
this
gonna
way.
work.
I think anyone
Unless
that does that, right, is a person who just is firstly a very artistic and a very creative person. Though don't get me wrong, I'll never do anything too extreme to the car that I drive on a day-to-day basis. You know, I was joking, but like
you can't afford to.
you know, it's you for me when I look at someone like that, you know, and like the day that I decided to start working on my car,
Yeah.
right? I kind of thought about it in this way, right? I wanted to do something that once it's done, once I'm complete with it, right? I'm gonna be satisfied. You know what I mean? There could be like a BMW right next to me, and I feel like my little Hyundai is still good enough for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? As humans, I think we always fall into this trap of wanting what the next person has,
Yeah.
right, and not like working on the things that we currently have, and I don't know, making them nice for ourselves.
Appreciating what you have,
Appreciating,
basically.
yeah, and then when the day comes for you to upgrade to a BMW or whatever it is, then you would have done it at a time when you are able to. You know what I mean? And I think there's a bit of a character thing that I think that's involved in people who do things to their cars, and they keep their cars for long.
Yeah, but I think they got more respect for their cars than they have for other human beings.
But people who do that, I think you will see that guy with that car like 10 years later,
Yeah.
20 years later. I
I
don't
was
know.
looking after it.
Yeah,
That's true.
they
That's
genuinely do look after it, and
That's true.
hey, you can say what you want to say, and that's why I say it's an entire culture,
Yeah.
that.
And their cars are always neat and
Yeah,
clean.
yeah,
Like there's never you'll never find the car dirty.
but it says more about the owner of the
You,
car
you understand?
than it does him driving, on the road. But that's just how I think of it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, happiness is free, and that's one way that people like find themselves being
Right.
happy.
Yeah. You know the one thing I look at, and I always have to ask myself, is it necessary right now? For me personally, I know for a lot of people, it's a thing. It's about goals. They're goal driven. They said it's like a project, you know.
Mm.
So they're goal driven. They want to do this. They want to do that. Sometimes you have to save up to get a specific part or a specific thing done. You understand? For me, I think what I've done is obviously my focus has become more into the people that are around me on a day-to-day basis. You understand? So I think one day, but then they're gonna call it midlife crisis when I start doing stuff.
You know the thing is the way I think of it, right? Whenever you're about to take on something, a new project, or move into a new area, or buy a car, or upgrade something,
Yeah,
do it. As long as you're doing it within your means,
yeah,
firstly, you're not going to get into debt, and you're not getting sleepless nights.
yeah. But now that's the other
If
thing. Eh?
if you can do whatever it is,
Yeah,
right,
no, that's
that way, then that's the green light.
yeah.
But if you're gonna have, especially the sleepless nights, that's the one thing that you, whatever you do, you don't want to get into that state.
No, you know the stress of not being able to sleep because of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know that is not a nice stress to have. Now. I'll tell you that much.
I get
Because
that,
it's about this money needs to do this.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's like it's got places to go.
Mm.
But now if you don't have that money to let it go to those places,
Mm.
and that's where the problem comes in.
I mean, whatever it is that you're doing, if if you have to, then you have to let go. Then let go.
Yeah. No, I think yeah, like I said, for me it was a personal decision to prioritize certain things. Look, I believe this life is a journey. Oh, do you understand? A journey in a sense that I can't, like you said, you can't be looking at the next person and oh, they're driving this and I'm driving this.
Mhm.
You understand? You need to be almost comfortable with what you have. You also you need to be okay, accepting of what you currently have, your current situation, because tomorrow your situation could change.
It
But a
always
lot of
does, yeah.
people, the reason why a lot of people don't acquire what they need to acquire is because they always see the lack
Mm.
and not the abundance. You understand?
Mm.
Because currently you have exactly enough or what you need to move to the next level and to move forward and to
Yeah.
keep going and to wake up at night and in the morning, to wake up and to keep pushing. You understand? But what happens is that because you are acceptant of it and you're like, okay, fine, you know what, I have this. Sometimes something bigger just opens up. Do you understand?
But it's human nature, guys. You know, uh, there's just certain things that we as humans can't get away from. You know what I'm saying? And the desires. People will wanna blame like marketing and all these things.
Yeah.
These desires, guys. There's people. Human beings are just like product of just desire. Yeah, for a lack of better words. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I look at like myself like 10 years ago, where I mean I desired a lot, but like I didn't acquire as much. And like 10 years later, I'm in
Yeah.
a position that I am, and partially because of my status as a married man.
Yeah.
You end up getting into things that 10 years ago you would have been okay without.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I mean, 10 years ago, I was okay with just having just a bed and a couch and a fridge.
Yeah.
Now I've got a TV
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
and I've got all these things, and it's there to firstly just give you like a bit of a sense of accomplishment as a person. I think
Yeah.
you know
Okay.
the feeling of just walking into your own space, and enjoying it, enjoying what it looks like,
Yeah.
what it feels like, and then you get out of your house and you go into your car and enjoying how it drives and
Yeah.
what it feels like, and it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what the next person is thinking about you. And obviously, there are people who just go around like thinking or trying to impress everybody. And like,
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm really not there. I'm a grown ass man who doesn't have time to impress nobody.
No. No.
But with that being said, it's I can only say it's like human nature.
Yeah.
You know, we can have our thoughts and we can look at someone and say, but like, what's the point of buying something like this now?
Yeah.
Why are you spending so much money
Yeah.
on getting this and that? Hey, it's human nature. The things that are being marketed, are being sold to us, are there
Yeah.
because someone tapped into that, that desire, that nature in us, and they just went out there and did what they did. And here we are looking at ourselves wanting to upgrade, even though we don't need to.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things where you start realizing, like for me, I'm thinking about it, it's like, okay, fine. I think we had this discussion before, and I'm gonna throw it in there. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I kind of feel like we live a life influenced. You understand? Almost like sparked to say that, okay, in terms of the way um, things are marketed to you, it's like, you know what, we are marketing you this car, or we're marketing you this house, or we're marketing you this couch, or whatever. It's like they're planting a seed. Whether you get it today or 10 years down the line, sooner or later you're gonna be like, I need a couch. You understand?
I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Maybe the conversation has been had in a negative way where you get these people who are going to be like, oh, you're in the system, you're in the matrix, and that kind of thing.
You can say it as many times as possible, man. The one thing I realized this past week is that you can say yes, we're in a system, yes, we're in a, what are you gonna do about it? Do you understand?
But what if
Say telling it to me doesn't change my life.
But what if we're not in the system, guys?
No, I think anyone has obviously got its own opinion. Yes, you say what if we're not. I say what if we are.
Well, those are the two possibilities we now need to like kind of look at. What if we? What if
anything, bruh?
What if we're in a system, right? How do we take advantage of the system? What if we're not in a system? How do we take advantage of the fact that we're not in a system?
Whether we're not in the system, whether we are or whether we're not,
Yeah,
either way, you still need to live your life.
but
Either
but
way,
that's
you're gonna wake
that's
up
the
and have to
confusion.
make decisions.
Yeah,
Either way, you're gonna have to. You understand? It doesn't exclude you from anything.
but you see, that's why I avoid that frame of thinking, because when you get to a place where you say things like, yeah, but that's what the system wants to do. I think for some people it's they get so caught up in they get so limited by that idea or by that way of thinking
They're restricting
that
themselves.
that
Yeah.
they just don't think themselves out of it.
No.
The truth of the matter is, I don't know. I don't care who says what. You know, if the sun is gonna shine tomorrow, it's gonna shine regardless of system of new system.
Yeah.
No,
No, definitely, definitely. And if it's gonna rain tomorrow, it's definitely gonna rain tomorrow.
yeah.
The idea basically for me, I think that's why I've learned to kind of not isolate myself, but just keep to myself. Because I necessarily don't want to have too many voices in my head. You understand? And when we talk about a system, right? When we talk about a system or a non-system or whatever, it's basically you find the way of life keeps changing,
Mhm.
right? What I've started noticing is the fact that people don't want to take responsibility for their own lives and accountability, and then they have to blame something. Do you understand? Just because you are not making it does in that system or whatever doesn't mean that everybody else is not making it.
Mm.
Doesn't mean that everybody else is not living their best life within that system.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Mm.
It's just like you said, it's how you're taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
How I see it is that there is this life,
Mm.
right? People have figured out how to take advantage of it
Mm.
and exploit it
Mm.
to the best of their ability.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
Look, there is things that people talk about, like we talk about the past, we talk about this and we talk about that. But currently, here and now, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Are you complaining? Are you talking about the system? Are you looking into the system to see that, you know what, is there a loophole here somewhere? Are you trying to
Yeah.
figure things out?
Yeah. Yeah, I just, I'm sorry, like, I get into this conversation enough times, you know, and I just end up just reaching to this conclusion. It's like, what is it gonna change? You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't change anything.
We're here, we are now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I suppose it's like, for me, is I look at times when I'm unhappy. Yes, that does happen. Contrary, contrary to unpopular belief, people
Yeah.
think that I'm always happy, but like, I mean,
You have your bad days.
I have my, yeah, I have not even bad days. I have bad weeks, eh? Sometimes even bad months.
Yeah.
And you know, when I think of it, it's like on the months or on the days that are supposedly bad, it tends to happen because I allow a frame of thinking that is negative, you know, take over. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it rains, it's a good thing, you know.
Yes.
It rains, it could impact you negatively. The fact that you probably were meant to do something, now you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But look at the bright side, you know, you probably would have gone out to do something that you probably were not meant to do.
Yeah.
And you have to call insurance because there's,
Just got down to that thing of shit's gonna happen.
yeah,
Like it comes down to the fact that things will go wrong.
yeah.
How you react to it is, you know, a very old saying. How do you react to it is what it's how you determine the outcome of it.
Yeah.
You know, Gazi, you know, not to bring like religion and stuff like that into it is that you can pray every day, right?
Mm.
You can religiously go to church. You can religiously go to whichever pray, place of worship and you know stuff like that. Things are gonna go wrong, regardless. Life is not gonna say, oh, because you are doing this, everything will be perfect. It doesn't get to that point. You understand? I think for me personally, what I've realized is that it's how I approach my problems, how I approach situations, especially the negative ones, how I deal with them. You understand? Because I have to be like, you know what, man, you need to keep a level head.
Mm.
Because I think sometimes you get into a bad situation throughout the day, right? Situation after situation, and you're asking yourself, what else could go wrong? And guess what? Murphy's law, something goes wrong.
Yeah. I don't know, hey. I don't know. Every time something goes wrong in my life, I'm not the kind of person who rushes to, okay, what can go wrong now? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if something goes wrong now, right, and something goes wrong again afterwards, I'm actually surprised that the second thing happened.
Like, Papa.
Yeah. And it's because I just don't ascribe to that kind of thinking or that kind of belief system. You
Oh,
know,
trust me.
that
There's a lot of us out there. I'll put my I don't necessarily put myself in that because what I do is I take a time out. I've learned over the years.
But maybe that's
I take a time
maybe
out.
that's why like things don't happen now. Because
Mm.
the minute something just goes
Yeah.
like sideways on, it's I literally stop.
Yeah.
I literally stop.
Yeah.
I take a time out. I give myself a moment. I give myself
Yeah.
like a bit of time to actually process what's going on
Think about it.
and think about it
Yeah.
and actually like really just wonder what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And like the next thing that happens, the first thing that happens is out of your control, but the thing that happens afterwards, you will see like a lot of the time you kind of have like a hand in it happening.
Decision.
You know what I mean?
Decision making.
And you making a decision based on what just happened, what went wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I and I could be correct. You know, when one thing happens,
Yeah.
right, and you're really thinking to yourself, that's what else could happen, right?
No, you're calling upon it.
In fact, it's not even like you're not even calling about it. You know what I'm saying? It's what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do next?
Yeah.
You know. And the truth of the matter is, what you're gonna do next is gonna be something stupid that gets you into that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Possibly.
Where the first thing and the second thing are not correlated.
No.
You know what I'm saying? The first thing, yes, it was bound to happen.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But you know, the thing that happens afterwards, right? Because you couldn't give yourself time to process, to think, to not even to not get emotional
About it. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The second thing that does come about and does happen, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound like a mean, but it's your fault.
Mm.
It really
No, I have a
it's,
perfect example for that.
it really is your fault.
I have a perfect example.
Mm.
Tell you a little story.
Mm.
Remember, I pick up kids from school.
Mm.
Right. So one afternoon, it's either was I was writing exam or I was busy with something, but I was in a meeting.
Mm.
So remember, sometimes I knock off early.
Mm.
Sometimes I start late and knock off early. So I was in a meeting. Meeting was running overtime. Already I'm late. That means I need to rush because I need to pick up the kids. I need to A, B, and C. You understand? So what happens is I get into the car. So the car already had a problem with the CV joint.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
Getting to the first car,
Mm.
right? I get out, I pull out, I'm driving. As soon as I get to the corner, as soon as I get to the corner from the house, CV joint pops out completely.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
I can't go anywhere.
Mm.
Car stops, moves, doesn't move.
Mm.
So there's a second car though, right? Doesn't have a battery.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, let me take this second one. I put into the car. The terminal from that car,
Mm.
right? The battery breaks.
Mm.
The terminal breaks off.
Mm.
Yo, what now? But because your mind is going fast, right? I kind of did something where I was just so that the battery can catch, but didn't realize that the rubber was touching with something that was very hot. The rubber of the cable was touching something that was very hot. So I'm like driving. But as I'm driving now I left the other car by the corner. It's been standing there. I left it there. I'm like, I'll come see when I get back. Dude, second car catches fire. The second car catches fire. Now I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck. I'm not picking up kids right now. Now I need to get a tow truck, number one, because I'm further out. You understand? Now I need to get a tow truck to come tow me back home. That's money. I need to make sure that I get the white car sorted out. Both of them are white anyways, but I need to get the first car sorted out. That you understand? Just to fix. Dude, trust me. That day, I picked up the phone only 3 times. For me, that's a lot. Picked up the phone to Bito, and then Bito gave me a number to another guy, one of the tow truck guys, and he came to help me. He came, he took the car, the first one, the second one that I took out, because now I'm stuck with Jeremiah there, taking that go back. Now the other car is still there.
Mm.
Now I need to get that other car home as well.
Mm.
I said to crack, it's fine. Because now Malema was coming.
Mm.
So luckily, because that was the other call I made, the third call I made was to Malema. Remember the kids?
Mm.
Oh, yeah, it's more than 3 calls. But remember the kids?
Mm.
I had to call someone to pick up the kids and drop them off at home. One of the kids actually had to walk home because it's two different schools.
Right.
You understand? One of the kids actually walked home. You understand?
Mm.
But it's that where things happen, and it happens fast, eh? It happens so fast because you didn't stop and say, you know what, let me rather sort this car out or get it pushed back home or whatever, right? Let me sort this car out. Call that person and say, okay, fine, do you mind picking up my kids for me and just bringing them home, please? Because now I'm really running late. You understand? It would have eliminated everything else in between. But no, I was from that car, like, take this battery, go to that car. Dude. But by the next day, it was the next day, or yeah, the next day, all the cars were sorted.
But you see, that's the thing. That I'm not going to be hard on anybody. You know, it's a matter of like living and learning.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
most people and
Yeah.
most people just do the living part and they don't do the learning one.
No. And some
And
people never learn it.
they never learn, but it's that's. I mean, we need people who never learn. I'm sorry, guys.
We learn from them.
I'll learn from the next.
Nonsense.
I'll learn from the next person who never learned, the first time. And that's why I end up being, where I am. Like people say that life happens to people. I'm not bragging, and I'm not trying to like give myself, but like in a position where people think life doesn't happen to me.
Not always.
It's like I've just come to a realization that it's life. It is what it is.
You know, your decision making plays a very big role. You understand? Um,
But I think it's also my experiences, because sorry to cut you. My experiences have kind of actually like taught me up to be a bit more resilient than what most people are. You know? And I think again, like what has happened with me is I've just got to be very honest about my emotions and my thoughts and that kind of stuff. And I don't run away from it. I never run away from like my thoughts and my own emotions and stuff like that. And what I tend to do a lot of the time is that I acknowledge more than anything else. I've never been to therapy or anything like that. But I mean, what I've done is I've actually made it a point to learn about like emotions, and what I'm feeling. I've made it a point to actually just understand what the hell it is that I'm experiencing
and why are you feeling the way that you are at that point in time?
at that point in time. And like the next question that I always ask myself is like, is it gonna matter in 5 months from now? Right?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, I move on. It,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's an oversimplified thing, but like generally that's what I always ask myself. It's like 5 months from now, like what I'm upset about right now, is it gonna matter?
Will it have any impact?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Will it shape my future?
Yeah.
Will it? No.
And if the answer is no, then there's just no point in sticking around with it. Just
Nah,
move on.
dude, we don't ask those questions. We harbor feelings, we harbor things, bro. You know, you can call it human nature, you can call it whatever you want to. Sometimes you can hold a grudge for nothing. You understand?
Maturity.
So
People that like have this thing of thinking about maturity is as this thing of like you walking around upright. Like
yeah, with no emotion.
yeah,
Like a robot.
remember, like when we came across about when we were growing up. It's a funny thing. I don't know if it was like that in your time, but like if we came across a person that is like quiet, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You were like, yeah, this person is mature, and that person just has nothing to say.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
No, you get a lot of people that they don't, because they don't speak much, or they don't have much to say. You would swear that they calm and mature up until you really see them in a comfortable space.
Mm.
You understand? We have a tendency of misjudging because we wanna put a face, or we wanna put an image, or we wanna label certain things. You understand? So the one time, I was going through a phase, obviously, and I was listening to Ellen Watts, and he says you would think that monks don't show frustration
Mhm.
and anger and
I mean,
irritation.
I've never met one person.
You understand? So in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Sometimes we think other people don't have those kind of emotions,
Mm.
but yet they do. Everybody has those things in them.
Mm. So, Gazi, until I meet a monk,
No, no, no.
right?
It was just
Until the day.
an analogy.
Yeah.
Like you speak about a calm person.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to
yeah.
put a. You understand?
No, I totally get you, but like, uh, until the day I meet a monk, right? Maybe that's when I'll be like, okay, oh yes, these people don't have emotions and stuff like that. But as long as you're a man,
Dude,
as long as
you're
there's
a human being.
no, but like as long as there's flesh attached to your existence,
You
my
you have
guy,
emotion.
you
You have
feel
emotion.
things,
You're not above anything.
No,
You're not above anything.
no.
You know, when we speak like that, so, and I know I might be just highlighting things that are not as relevant, but anyway. So normally someone would, because you don't show joy much, or you've got a way of showing it. You understand? You can be joyful and not have a smile on your face.
No, of course.
Other people would look at it like you're angry or something's wrong. You understand? So you would be angry, but they can see it.
Mm.
Oh, that's what anger looks like. Like
Mm.
anger's got a thing, you know. Joy or happiness or whatever. Obviously, they also want a thing for it. Other people can be angry and quiet, and you won't even know, or they can laugh.
Yeah,
Do you understand?
yeah.
So, like, we've come accustomed to the fact that you want to see that thing in a specific way because of how it's being portrayed outside.
Mm.
I can be angry and laugh at you.
Mm.
I'm angry at that point. You're gonna think, this guy is okay.
Mm.
But I'm not.
Mm.
It's almost like our brains can't accept the fact that sometimes what you see is not what you get.
Yep.
And we sit here and we want to, oh, you must smile, man. I'm smiling internally.
Maybe I don't come across people like that. Eh? One thing I just know is that a lot of people just don't care.
Yeah.
If someone is like, yeah, smile, I think the reason that they're doing that is you not smiling is making them feel uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
And
Yeah.
it says more about them than it
About
does
you.
you. Just carry on, just move on. That person is very insecure.
Nah, you know what, man? You know what scares me more is is a fake sense of being that at times I think the generation that comes after me, right? Like I speak about my kids, right? They come after me. The way they are being programmed to look at life,
Mm.
the content and the information that's out there is very different from when I was obviously growing up. You understand? And there's times Jeremiah's got this tendency of speaking a certain way. I'm like, dude, no, that is not going to happen.
Mm.
You're not going to walk around the house sounding like, I don't know what, some YouTube channel. You understand? Because you can see the trend. You can see where this is going. And you need to be able to chart that. You understand? Even when you want to be irritated because I said no, it's like no, dude, it's not gonna work. There's certain things that I with us we had to learn to accept certain things. If no was no, it was a no. Not if no was no, and then you start throwing your toys out of the car. Understand? And then because you scream loud enough, I give in. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So the kind of things that are out there, I think most probably a lot of other parents also when they see me walking with my kids and I said no for chocolate in the shop, there's no tantrum. Then he looks at them and he's like, "Oh, look at that one. Can you hear that one screaming?" You know, it's like, yeah, because I had to train you from very young age. This is not the game we play here. We are not playing this game of you throwing tantrum, you throw your toys out. No, we are not playing that game.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing. It's, you know, there's this belief that if you're a parent, you you meant to be their friends, you know.
No.
And like the problem is with a lot of parents is, and a lot of men, I think they cannot bear the thought of being disliked, and like rightfully so,
Yeah.
you know. And I mean that is also just something that I've just grown to just do, you know. Some of the decisions that I make, you know, some of the things that I do are not popular.
No.
Not
No,
popular at all.
a lot of things that you will do will not be popular.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, look, maybe to them, I'm their friend.
Mm.
I'll tell you that much. Maybe to them because they can speak to me.
Mm.
Not obviously not about everything, you know. But they to some degree they can talk to me because remember I like the open door policy. They must be able to be free enough to be able to speak to me. I do not want to hear it in the streets or from someone else. I hate that. You know? So it doesn't change the fact that I'm also disciplinarian. Say it the way it is.
Mm.
You know, I'm very I'm not as strict, but I'm quite strict. I'm strict enough to be like, no, you see now you've got problems. Do you understand? At the same time, for as much as I'm a disciplinarian, I'm also a teacher. So I need to be able to apply patience. I need to be able to apply the fact that I need to listen also. I can't just lash out. You understand? I do find sometimes you're too much of a friend. In some instances, I've seen that. Or sometimes you're too much of a disciplinarian because you're not teaching them the lesson. You understand? Sometimes you're too much of a teacher that you forget that, you know what, I need to also be a friend a little bit. I need to listen. Because how are they going to open up? How are you going to teach them? You understand? You can't. So having those three it's not the easiest thing to balance. And trust me, you're going to get them wrong sometimes. It's just life, man. Like even when you try and teach a grown up, you understand? Like it gets to that point, you're like, I don't know, man. It's like I'm losing this battle. But anyways, we'll try tomorrow again. You know?
Yeah.
We'll try again. We'll keep going because this life is a journey. We're on a path of learning, on a path of experience, on a path of discovery. You know, and sometimes I feel like we want to force or want to always put our opinion across, like it's always the opinion. You know
Sure. That's you, hey, like you're a very understanding person.
You have problems. You have problems for
You got
years.
serious issues. I don't know what to say. You need help, me.
Nah, seriously,
You
need
really need
to
help.
stand contained.
Yeah.
Just open,
The truth of the matter is,
organized for you.
and this is just how I look at things, you know, and it goes back to like what we were talking about it, you know. If certain things are really that much of a problem, right, according to certain people, right, then they should be criminalized.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if there is no system of criminalizing it, then the problem is not that big.
Yeah.
It's not that big a problem, and you can either coexist or find a way to live, exist in like completely different spaces without bothering each
Each
other.
other.
And like what you're saying to me now about like there's people who feel like their opinions oh what should govern life,
Yeah.
what should
Oh, I
govern
like that.
existence.
Yes.
It's like I don't know what to say to you, you know what I'm saying? Like I hardly get what I want as a person. And like I work hard, Gazi. You know,
Yes,
when I say that I work hard, I work crazy hours, and like having now to feel like I should get everything that I want
all about
because
me.
I work hard. And there's people who don't even work hard, and those are the people who get the most upset, by the way. It's like you haven't done anything to be upset, but
You are very upset.
you're very upset, and like you know your
You
money.
sleep that time, man.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You haven't even spent a rand on
Ah.
that thing that you're upset about,
Yeah.
right? It hasn't affected your bank account.
Nothing.
It hasn't affected your um I don't know the way that your food
We taste.
will taste.
Yeah.
And you're out here getting upset at the fact that someone is a different skin tone than you are. You stupid. Like I'm sorry. Like if that's you and you're listening to this podcast, you can come to me and try to beat me up, but I genuinely think that you're stupid.
He said try.
You know.
The operative word is try. Yes.
That's trying to find me is also going to be like a
Another
thing
problem.
because like I'm not
You
in
don't sit
one.
still.
I don't sit still. Hey, I really don't sit still. But like the truth is, like if you're really gonna be upset over the fact that I just think that you're a big baby who needs who should be off diapers, you know, as a baby formula by now,
Yeah.
right?
You know, the
You stupid.
yeah.
You just stupid.
No. You know, there are some things that I've realized that people are adamant this is how it's supposed to be. This is life, as per Josh,
Mm.
right? This is life, and this is how you want to live it.
Mm.
Do you understand? Forgetting that we learn from each other. If you were meant to be on your own, somewhere on an island, that would have been the thing for you. But it's not. Because we're social beings at the end of the day. You understand? I always feel like if you've got a problem with someone, stay away from them.
That's it.
Personally, that's me.
That's
If you've got a problem with someone, if you've got a problem with a group of people or whatever, you rather just be like, you know what, like, Gazi, I'd rather distance myself from the situation. But you find normally.
But guys, do you know how hard it is?
Yeah, I know.
Do you know how difficult it is for entitled people to just stay away?
I don't know. I don't know you too.
Hey, guys, it is very, very difficult for entitled people to stay away.
Because they won't be able to show their entitlement to anyone.
As long as me, guys, let me tell you something. As long as your money, right, has never been involved in the solving of an issue or your personal money, right? Money that you probably worked incredibly hard to. You know, like you worked in a construction site,
Yeah.
for example.
You were the one mixing the dagger.
Yeah. And you made 100,000 rand. And then you were out there trying to fix world hunger.
Yeah.
Right.
At the same time. Yeah.
Then I can take you serious.
No.
But if your money was never involved, I'm sorry. Like I'm really sorry.
You've got problems.
You've got issues, eh? And I'm sorry, there's so many bridges in Joburg.
Yeah, you can.
Between Joburg
Get over
and
yourself.
Cape Town, you can go hang.
no.
I'm sorry, you fight.
You got
Yo,
problems.
this is not. This is. I'm sure this is not good for
No.
YouTube. But like, I'm sorry.
No. You know, like Dude, you know the amount of information that's out there, and everybody's information is gospel. You know,
Mm.
that's how they put it out there. Like everybody is, it's almost like they, not everybody, but obviously a certain group of people that feel like they've reinvented the wheel. Maybe like even us sitting here having this conversation, we feeling like we're changing the podcast industry. But it's not about that. It's not about that. The amount of times you scroll on your phone and you get the exact same thing over and over, you must clearly something is
Mm.
clearly something is wrong. You understand?
I don't know, guys. It's just like for the last little while, I think I've just taken a different approach to life. You know what I'm saying? And whatever approach that I take in life, I feel like it shouldn't interfere in the way that with the way that everybody else's life is
And
running.
it's about you.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
actually about me. So my decisions should not affect the next person. That's the very first thing that you need to do. You need to make sure that if you're going to start thinking a certain way or start feeling or taking a specific approach, it it shouldn't affect how the rest of society is functioning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is the things that have more impact, this is my personal opinion, always come from an approach where a person was like, it shouldn't affect anybody, but indirectly it
It
does.
does.
I don't know. It's always been that way. You know that one person who decides, you know what, from here on, right?
Yeah.
When I drive my car, when I see a red robot, I'm gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? When I see a stop sign, I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
and move on. And like how that has more impact than someone who stands with a picket sign saying, "Hey, stop!" And like exactly that same spot the next day where you were standing with your picket sign, protesting and trying to dictate how everybody else should live. That same corner, there's an accident. The next day, someone dies. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you genuinely do something according to yourself, people will follow. If it's really good, if it's really that impactful, two or three people are going to follow. But guess what? Two or three people have like influence over two or three more people. Where
It's a chain.
it's like
It's a chain.
it just spreads. So like with everything that I've done, when I say that I've taken a slightly different approach with a lot of things, right? I want to try it out, see if it works, you know, and then if it works, someone's gonna definitely be like, "Hey, I've seen that you've decided to do this,
Yeah.
and this is the outcome. Okay, how does this thing work?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when it's now working for me, it's like I then start to have the impact that, and indirectly, guys, and I say to a lot of people, it's like, I'm not here to change the world. I'm probably gonna leave it the way it is. I found it the way it was.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
let me just try to exist within this space. You know, and I know a lot of people don't believe in God, but like at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to answer for what I did with my personal life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I won't have to answer to what happened with the ANC in my era. It's like,
Nah,
you know,
nah. Why did EFF use big members? It's not gonna impact,
yeah.
You see,
And I don't even think it's that important.
no.
I really don't think it's that important.
So you see, maybe the way I view things is, because some people won't view what you do as good. 'Cause you'll have judgmental individuals, you'll have very critical individuals, you understand? And some people won't see what you're trying to do. At that time, you will literally just try to live your life the best way. understand? Work hard, look after what's important to you, you know, um, work well, understand what is important and doing it well. Things like that. People won't see that because they will see something else. What is he trying to do? Mr. Goody Two Shoes. People will have that.
Somewhere, someone out there, right, on the other side of this camera is gonna have an issue with the fact that I just crossed my legs like this.
Yeah, because you're talking with you. Because like, Eva, why you don't want us to see you?
Well, I try to do it in a way that it's not gonna block my face. But like right now, I feel like my meniscus needs a little bit of a stretch. Then this is why I'm deciding to sit like this. You, with your own perception, are just deciding to yourself that a man shouldn't sit that way because I've got opinions of how men should sit.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable right now. Trust me, I feel very, very comfortable. My leg is getting the stretch that it wants, and when I'm done getting the stretch on that leg, I'm gonna move my leg and put it in another position
Yeah.
that is gonna make me feel comfortable at that moment. It's none of your business. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's the
You know
way
what I mean?
you decide what you want to do. I think we obviously live in a world where some people want to make those decisions for you.